Our next speaker, Congressman Keith Ellison of Minnesota, regrets that he can't be here with us in person, but he has kindly sent a video message for all of us. But first, we'd like to introduce Shirin Sinnar, a law fellow at Stanford and member of the Korematsu Institute Steering Committee, to introduce Representative Ellison.
Good afternoon. It is my distinct privilege this afternoon to introduce Representative Ellison of the 5th Congressional District of Minnesota. While Representative Ellison could not be with us today, he has shared with us a video message honoring Fred Korematsu. We celebrate Fred Korematsu today not just because of the courage he showed in resisting internment more than half a century ago, but because he continued to speak out against injustice throughout his life, particularly as our country faced new international threats that once again led to fear and prejudice at home. Most notably, in the last years of his life, Fred Korematsu submitted amicus briefs to the U.S. Supreme Court, challenging the post-9/11 detention of individuals in the War on Terror without any opportunity to contest the reasons for their detention. Representative Ellison is someone who is intimately familiar both with the fear and prejudice of post-9/11 America and with the promise of our nation's Constitution. As the first Muslim American elected to Congress, Representative Ellison immediately faced critics who challenged his loyalty simply because he was Muslim. But from the moment of his inauguration, Representative Ellison symbolically demonstrated that one can be equally Muslim and American. He took his constitutional oath of office on a copy of a Quran once owned by none other than our nation's founding father, Thomas Jefferson. Since his inauguration in 2007, Representative Ellison has worked tirelessly on behalf of civil rights and social justice for all Americans. He has championed health care access for all, supported the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, promoted passage of the DREAM Act and comprehensive immigration reform, and spoken out against shameful conditions of immigrant detention here in the United States. He reminds us today of Fred Korematsu's plea to our government not to repeat the mistakes of the past and to honor our nation's commitment to equality for all. Thank you.
Thank you for honoring Fred Korematsu. Thank you for lifting him up and making his name something that everyone will have to stop and acknowledge and learn about. Thank you for taking a moment to let school kids and all of us know who Fred Korematsu was, what he stood for, what he sacrificed, and how his sacrifice has made all of our lives a little bit more free. We're in another era now. We've faced other tragedy, sort of the Pearl Harbor of our own generation. And in that way, people again have sought to turn fear, anxiety, and for some people, discrimination. And yet, by standing on the example of Fred Korematsu, we know that we will live to see the day when we regret turning on Americans of Middle Eastern or Muslim background, just as we live to regret turning on Japanese Americans who were among the most loyal, most patriotic Americans during that era of Fred Korematsu. So let us never forget the lessons of history. Let us always remember them, and let's let the example of Fred Korematsu and the lessons that America learned in our interaction with his time and with his patriotism be a beacon to shine light on what we should do today when we face new challenges. So thank you again. I want to say I honor and respect your efforts and wish I could be there with you. Again, this is Keith Ellison, Congressman Keith Ellison, a great follower of the work and admirer of the work of Fred Korematsu.